Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 back at it with another video for you guys. And we are here, well, with the final video of discussing anything related to the Black Clover anime for quite a while. Now, I know like some of these events take place in the manga as well, but honest to God, the Black Clover anime is like word for word, like it adapts 100% mostly of a few little add-ons and stuff like that of the manga. So this video is going to cover what I believe is the first half of the Spade Kingdom arc, and then after that, what I'm going to do, and I'll even further talk about it later, at the end of the video when I'm done with this video. It will start my whole video of reading the chapters to catch up to the Black Clover manga, because clearly, obviously, you guys would probably want me to, well, read the manga chapters like legit. I sit here, record, I read the manga chapters out loud. I'm not going to show any panels or anything because I'm not trying to get my channel copyright stricken by Viz and Shueisha and stuff like that, because I'm showing their stuff and everything, even though you're promoting their stuff. But hey, it is what it is. I'm just going to sit here, read it to you guys, and you guys get my thoughts and stuff like that. But yes, we are here with the Spade Kingdom Arc review, where this arc, like, it's freaking intense and crazy, and there's just a bunch of insane shit that happens. And then obviously you have the whole plot twist with the whole fact of what the Dark Triads doing, Yuno's origins, stuff like that. Which is crazy enough as it is. So let's get into this chapter. Like I said, this is the Spade Kingdom arc. And essentially, like I said, I'm only really talking about the first half portion. I know currently it's still ongoing and stuff like that, but the chapters for this portion of the story you can read are chapters 229 and 200 to 272, and anime episodes 158 to the last episode in the series up to this point for Black Clover, and the anime 170, which obviously I know the Black Clover anime will return, because the re-listen, I already know the whole reason why they stopped, because there was not enough source material to adapt. Now, I think what the Black Clover anime should do going forward is probably take a My Hero Academia approach, where they just go by seasons now, and they just have 24 episodes per season. So then they go on a break for a bit, and guess what? The following year they come back with the next new art content they have. I think it would be good for them to do that direction, instead of being like, say, a One Piece, where it's just a weekly series that goes on till, well, I'm guessing there's not enough content to adapt. I think if they just go that direction, then it might actually work for the better for the anime in that case, and have seasons and stuff like that. Otherwise, if they go back to doing weekly, episodes again, where it's weekly, well, you're going to go on breaks every now and then, because the source material is going to have to get far enough to where it's like, okay, you have to adapt it. I think the Black Clover anime staff will probably see this, and they'll probably make the change, the fact that we're going to make Black Clover seasonal instead of weekly. Listen, it worked good for 5 seasons of My Hero Academia, so I don't see why it can't work for Black Clover as well. I think they should go with a seasonal format, because it would just be better for them. But hey, the Black Clover is also getting a movie too, so that's also good, even though not much is known about it. But I'm glad they're getting a movie, and I'll be the first person, if it comes out to theaters here in the States, well, I'll be one of the first people to buy my tickets and go to theaters. But anyways, let's get to this stuff. And funny enough, I was going through my notes and getting notes down. This is a lot of notes I had to actually get and stuff like that, because it was just crazy. Now, after the whole plan to attack the Spade Kingdom in 6 months' time, what do we get? We get a 6-month time skip. because Laura Petchka's on a kind of a timer of how long she can live, and everything. So the thing is, 6 months have passed. Our cast of characters aesthetically and from a visual standpoint, they look different, as well as they're much stronger mages as well. Like very much stronger mages. So yeah. Obviously the kind of the two differences is the fact that, well, also Noelle somewhat look different. Noelle kind of looks the same. She just kind of got bows and her pigtails right there. But Asta, probably out of everybody, seems to have changed the most. His hair is a little bit more spiked up. He is a lot, and I mean a lot buffer than he was 3 months ago before the time skip. His freaking quads to his legs are freaking jacked. His whole chest is jacked. And I do like the fact that he changed that his whole design has changed. Like his whole Black Bull's robe, it's on the side and it's kind of like a hanging side, like how Yami's how Yami's little robe is. I definitely did like that. So yeah. Now, Laura Petchka actually sees this structure called Candeleo moving in the Grand Magic Zone, and everything. And well, essentially, it's the fact that the Spade Kingdom's making its move, and it's making its move on the Heart Kingdom and the Clover Kingdom. Well, Asta, like Asta Fashion, or like any damn main protagonist, goes off to try to take care of them all by himself. And we actually find a very interesting thing is the fact that, well, I thought it was Goku that was pretty cool to fly on clouds on his Nimbus, but I'm sorry, I love Dragon Ball as much, but when I saw this for the first time, I was like, he's flying on his sword. Now that's just badass. I'm sorry, I love Goku and that whole image of the fact that, oh, Goku's riding his cloud, the Nimbus cloud. I'm sorry, this knocks it out of the park. Freaking shit. Your main protagonist riding on fucking sword and he can fucking fly. So, not using brooms is good. But and it's also too, it's like flying on brooms. Oh, please, you can fly on a freaking sword. Essentially, he's channeling his anti-magic through his sword to be able to fly. I think it's pretty damn cool. And it's badass. Anyways, Asta attacks the whole structure and he takes out mostly everybody. He eventually goes up against somebody that has the powers of a devil within him and he kicks their ass pretty much easily, and stuff like that, with utter ease. And it goes to show you that, okay, Asta is on a whole nother level and stuff like that. Eventually, Noelle and the others eventually catch up to him, and the people who were essentially held captive, they're people from the Spade Kingdom, and essentially they tell them like, yeah, Spade's kind of being ruled by these guys called this group called the Dark Triad and everything, which are the main antagonist of the arc. In the meantime, there is also this delirious person who falls into Hodge Village. Lily finds him and eventually takes him to a bed to rest, and he's calling for which eventually signifies coming, and that's when we get his whole origin story and everything. Now, in terms of the Dark Triad, they're made up of 3 people. Their names are Dante, Zagaritis, Vanica Zagaritis, and Xenon Zagaritis. I do like all these characters. We don't get much of Xenon, because and he gives me the type of character that's just all about business, and he's kind of the quiet type of personality type of villain. So he seems to be interesting. Dante honestly was crazy within himself. He's kind of a boisterous, outgoing type of character where it's like he just is just full of evil. Probably because the fact that his damn devil is literally fucking Lucifer, essentially. Yeah, his devil's Lucifero, but essentially it's the fucking devil's the real life fucking devil's name in the freaking series. Hey, smart call, I guess you can go with that. I hate Lucifer. I hate the devil. Who cares? Anyways, and then obviously the last one, who I know a lot of guess Black Clover fans, especially dudes, freaking simp for, and that is the crazy chick Vanica. Yeah. All I know is a lot of guys in the Black Clover community simp for her because she's crazy as shit. And for some reason, guys are attracted to crazy girls. Okay. Listen, I'm not gonna say she's not hot, but okay. You people like crazy. You guys really thirsty. The fact that you want a freaking crazed girl that uses blood magic and she's got a devil within her. Okay, yeah. No, sorry, Bob. So yeah, now they go on to say we've gotten more adjusted to our powers, our devil powers, and it's time to make our assault, our plan go to full circle. Now, eventually, the heroes have some downtime a bit before everything gets hectic. So we see Laura Petchka, Mimosa, Noelle take a bath together. You gotta get a nice scene where they kind of discuss, oh, who do you guys like and everything. You had Laura Petchka be like, it seems like both of you two were into Asta. Especially get on Noelle, the fact that clearly she has feelings for Asta, but everything. But they actually kind of bring up the fact that, well, Gaja, they asked Laura Petchka, like, don't you wait, are you and Gaja or like a thing or something like that? And Laura Petchka's like, oh no, I'm not a thing with him. I respect him as a comrade and everything. But by the time you get to the end of this arc, you clearly can tell that Gaja clearly has feelings for Laura Petchka. And by the time after she's taken away, he clearly, that's the thing that's motivating him to go save her because he clearly likes her. So I hope whenever I start reading the manga, they save Lord Petchka, he freaking maybe confesses his feelings and says that he likes her, and stuff like that. So that was funny. But the one thing I did take away is the fact that Lord Petchka's like, you people from Clover are actually really kind. I was really scared of you guys, but you know what? You guys are all right. Which goes to show you that each of these different kingdoms, they have different interpretations of each other and stuff like that. I wouldn't blame Lord Petchka because really the Spade and the Diamond Kingdom, they're pretty hostile countries, and stuff like that. So I definitely could see where she's coming from the standpoint. Yeah, I'm actually shocked that you guys actually are nice people and everything. You're cooperative. The other two guys, they're like fudge. You can't mess with those dudes and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyways, we cut over back to the Clover Kingdom actually, and we get the backstory and everything. So the guy who is asking for goes to meet him. His name is Ralph, and he's an outcast from the Spade Kingdom, who escaped. And essentially, this is when we understand. He eventually tells by showing magic to and we find out, well, the interesting tidbit about we always knew that was highly strong and highly skilled, and you always wondered, why is he this strong for a kid from a very poor village? And also the whole standpoint is like, okay, him and Asta were in baby baskets. Where the hell did they originate from? And essentially we find out, in a long story short, that for all his freaking crazy talents and everything, and how strong he is, and how progressively strong he is. And remember, he's a vice captain at this point in time, and it's been like 18 months since he first joined the Golden Dawn, and he's already the vice captain of the Golden Dawn. And we essentially, as I'm going to get onto this, but we find out that actually is from the Spade Kingdom, and he is of royal blood. He is the prince of the Spade Kingdom, which is freaking insane. Because when I first watched this, I was like, wow. And it makes sense because obviously his necklace seems something of royalty, which we know is like some sort, like was like a magic stone and everything. And we even see his parents giving it to him as a baby as a way of protection and everything, which I thought it was nice and everything of that. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense why he's very talented. He's very abnormally strong for no apparent reason. And it answers that question of where he originated from. Essentially, what happened is the Dark Triad, essentially, Ralph goes on to say, well, you see, what happened is the Dark Triad got a role in the Spade Kingdom's army, and that's when they started having their powers they had the powers of being able to use their own devils. And slowly but surely, they quietly infected some other people, and they managed to overthrow the Spade Kingdom's kingdom, and they killed the queen and the king of the Spade Kingdom. Because back in the day, the Spade Kingdom was actually a peaceful nation. It wasn't so hostile and dangerous as it is, in the current time period that they're in now. A long time ago, their king, father and mother, they were peaceful people. And Dante, Vanica, and Xenon, they took those guys out and they killed them. So what happened was they essentially, now they were also there to kill too, so no heirs come in and try to get revenge on them. Smart idea, because you see every other damn anime, when you have some sort of royalty barrier, the villains forget, oh yeah, I probably should have killed the heir, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna let them suffer. Yeah, but essentially, they managed to get out of the Spade Kingdom and pass him on to the fact that they made him escape. Eventually, there was some spies that were trailing them, the people carrying so they split up in different directions. Eventually, they come across Hage, the person, I think it was Ralph, coming had came across Haj village in Clover Kingdom, left him at the church because it would be the most not obvious place to look, and he manages to escape. And obviously the kind of spy, the Dante, Vanica, and Xenon's men were like, oh, we shouldn't probably get in this area because we cause trouble. Fudge, we're screwed because we can't mess with the Clover Kingdom and stuff like that, because they weren't strong enough at the time. So that's how originates and everything. Now doesn't believe all this, and he's like, I'm actually, listen, you can say that, but I'm of the Clover Kingdom. Eventually what happens is, well, the Dark Triad makes their assault on not only the heart, but even the Clover Kingdom. And Xenon actually makes his attack on the Golden Dawn base, and gets a call. Eventually what happens, Xenon and his men are actually taking down the Golden Dawn base, and they're like actively killing, like when I mean killing people, they're killing people in the Golden Dawn bases. And we see even some people who we saw like before this whole incident, like there was this one chick who was fawning over who seems to like she liked him just because and stuff like that, and we see her later like damn near dead on the floor, and I'm like, the fuck is going on here? Oh, I'm like, okay, so they're holding no more punches. We're getting into some dark shit now. Okay, I thought the elf reincarnation stuff was dark and everything with a plot twist and everything there, but no, we're starting off this arc dark. I'm telling you, the Spade Kingdom arc, out of some of the few animes I've read or watched, is like the My Hero Academia War arc to me, in my opinion. The way, and what I mean is the way it starts. It starts off bang. There's no slowdown. The moment we get into this whole action stuff, it isn't a slowdown until you get to the, really the last bits of the anime episodes, when Austin's meeting his devil for the first time and stuff like that, or meeting Libe and stuff like that. That's when you get the downtime. But then I guarantee you, when I start reading the manga again, it's gonna pick right back up and get freaking hectic and insane and everything. And so this is going crazy. Xenon's going through the freaking, Golden Dawn base like easy stuff with his bone magic, which is scary enough if it is, and he's very powerful, very powerful. Even his underlings, the underlings of Xenon and Vanica, they are very strong because they actually use some of the powers of their representative leaders' devil powers. And that's how strong they are. Like, it takes, actually a good while to defeat one of Xenon's minions and take him down for the count, because, well, dude's freaking strong and he's using obviously devil power and stuff like that. But Xenon ends up getting to William Vengeance's area, and they kind of have a fight, but Xenon ends up the winner. Eventually, after takes care of the minions, he meets up with Klaus and some others, Golden Dawn members, and that's when they confront Xenon. And it's looking like is doing a fairly decent job, but Xenon's like, you're strong, but you're not strong enough. And it gets to the point where Xenon absolutely just dominates and obliterates the Golden Dawn. He like literally impales Vengeance, freaking Klaus, some valuable members. You actually think like some of these characters like Klaus, who's been a character since we've seen since the start of the series, like I'm thinking like, dude, they're gonna kill him off. Now, would I have it if they killed him off? Yes, I would have loved it if they had killed most of these important members of the Golden Dawn people like crazy. But sadly, they eventually get brought back. We even see that Yuno eventually gets impaled, and it's looking like he's gonna die because when Ralph comes up, we see Sylph crying and she's starting to disappear because Yuno's life force is going away and he's dying. So obviously, his contract with Sylph is disappearing. But because Vengeance left his magic behind, his World Tree magic, and managed to heal some of the members who were kind of on the edge of life and death. The people who were essentially about to die, they get brought back to life essentially, and they're alive. So Klaus and some other people, but not everybody in the Golden Dawn were brought back to life. There were like they still said like there was still a pretty high number of casualties we've had, and stuff like that, which is crazy sad. Is freaking pissed for literally the rest of this arc because he's like, I got my ass kicked. And this is the one, and listen, this is the one thing I definitely do like. I love the fact that they finally had in this arc finally take a fucking L. Because if you go through the entire series of Black Clover, let's be honest, Yuno's been smooth sailing and he hasn't had one like loss. A loss that will help his character development grow even better to where, this loss will change his character for the better and give him that development he needs. He's never had that. In every fight up to this point, even in the challenging fights, he's always managed to hold his own and he never ever got defeated like say Asta would. No, he's always been smooth sailing, and now he got embarrassed. He absolutely got destroyed, and it wasn't even close. He damn near was about to die to this guy. And I like how they have it because now this fuels, especially when you get to the end of this arc, this fuels Yuno's whole spirit. Like, I want to get revenge. I want to save a place that I guess used to be my home. And I also like the fact that Longer shows up and he's willing to help Yuno with his training, and stuff like that at the end of this arc. So I definitely did like the fact that they finally gave Yuno his big L to where it's going to improve his character development and stuff like that. Which, let's be honest, it's this arc, this arc kind of reminds me in terms of the first half of the losses we get. It reminds me a little bit of like the My Hero Academia stuff. I'm not going to get too much into details with the war arc, but I'm just going to say whenever you see the war arc, whether it's the anime or you go to read the manga, you kind of come out of it where it's like, oh, well, that didn't really go good for us. Or a better way to say it, it's like the Goku Black arc from Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, freaking Zamasu ends up getting killed by Zeno, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, Future Trunks' timeline got destroyed. So technically, the villains kind of won in this case, even though they were somewhat defeated a bit. So it's kind of like the whole thing there and stuff like that. So, yes, and everything. So that was whole crazy and everything. Anything. Now, Vanica and Herman ends up going to the Heart Kingdom, and we'll get to that in a bit. Now, in terms of what Dante does, Dante actually goes to the Black Bulls headquarters, and he goes to Black Bulls base because he's trying to get capture Yami. Now, like I said, Dante's a very funny, interesting character because eventually the Black Bull members that are stationed there, which are Gray, Ghosh, Vanessa, and Henry, do their best to go up against Dante, but they stand no chance. It gets to the point where Dante's like, you know what, Vanessa, you're my type of woman. I'm like, this guy's single-handedly hitting on girls and kicking their ass at the same time. And it even gets to the point where he even starts to become infatuated with Gray because he eventually sees Gray does this crazy healing power, which we later find out that apparently Gray's true magic might not be transformation magic. It might actually, she must be like a healer type of magic user and stuff like that. Mostly kind of because I kind of shipped Gray with Ghost, to be honest. I kind of shipped those two characters together because she wanted to protect her friend Ghost, which who I think is her love interest because Ghost is kind of the main reason why she joined the Black Bulls to begin with and everything. So I definitely did like that. But I'm like, this man Dante is like looking like, oh, he's especially looking at Vanessa, but who wouldn't look at Vanessa like that and be like, bruh, I want that girl. So yeah. Yeah. And when I mean Dante's this strong, Dante's freaking strong. Like later in the fight, when Asa shows up, Vanessa's using her whole Rouge ability, and freaking Dante's like, you know what? Screw this damn ability of change of fate. He freaking grows his power, and it takes out Rouge with that. And I'm like, so Vanessa's OP ability, well, I'm guessing from this point on, any damn villain can't take that thing out with utter ease. So I guess I like that from the standpoint, well, Rouge is damn near nothing. It's just a nice thing to have at some points, and stuff like that. But Dante easily freaking takes it out. Now, the one thing I forgot to mention, especially with Xenon, is the three Zagaritis members, or the three members of the Dark Triad, they can actually, I guess they go, because they make mentions like, okay, I'm going to increase my devil power by 50%. And they go on to say this. So essentially, based on that percentage of power they use, that's the percentage of the devil power they truly damn use with their abilities. And it's like, oh, so I'm guessing when they go 100%, they're OP as shit, huh? And we already led to believe that the majors we know, they need to be at least stage 1 or fucking stage 0 to freaking be able to even just stand a chance against these guys. But it's like, even seeing this, I'm like, dude, how the hell are you gonna be on those the stage 1 or the stage 0 level and somehow coming to Devil Live? Because I'm sorry, these dudes were kicking their guys' asses and stuff like that. Anyways, also shows up to the party, and eventually he tries to fight Dante in his Black Asta form. And Dante's like, oh, look at you. You got a power of your own, devil, too. And stuff like that. And truly, and Dante's, his type of devil yields, I didn't get Xenon's devil within him, what it's called, but Dante holds the devil within him of Lucifero, which we later find out is the strongest devil in this whole devil hierarchy thing in this series. Like I said, coincidence, not that the strongest devil is actually the legit real devil if you're into religion and everything. It makes sense of the fact that, well, Lucifero, same damn thing, whatever. Listen, so that goes on, that gets freaking crazy. Asta and freaking Dante's fight is insane. Now the devil within Dante's like, I don't know what devil he's got, it must be some weak ass devil or something like that. And essentially Lucifero's telling Dante's like, yo, can easily mop the floor of this guy, it's not even a fucking challenge. And that's what fucking happens. Asta gets his ass fucking whooped by Dante with utter freaking ease. So it's like, oh shit. So all this power Asta's gonna get, trained for over 6 months, it did fucking nothing. So yeah, but then again, when I look at it, it's like they only trained for 6 months. I don't think you can get any stronger you can in 6 months. Maybe it was like maybe a year, maybe 3 years, maybe 6 years, 7 years. Yeah, maybe you're actually a lot stronger than you already are, but it is what it is. Eventually gets to the point where Dante's like, I wonder what it's like to see your true form. I wonder if I can freaking make you see what makes you tick, because he touches on the fact that Asta likes to protect his friends and he doesn't want to see his friends hurt, and he's like, I want to see what this makes this guy's tick. And we get one of the craziest scenes where Dante eventually impales Ghost, gives him a very fatal wound, and that makes Asta go off on the damn deep end. And we see probably one of the craziest moments in Black Clover, where we see, I'm guessing, Berserk Black Asta, where it's seemingly like the devil fully took control of his damn body, and he just went at will. And Asta has like no damn sense of reason. It's just he's straight up attacking Dante with no remorse, and he's doing everything with power. But Dante, even still, with his whole state, like eventually also kind of gives him a cut in this state of being, and that's when Dante's like, okay, I'm done playing around, it's time to get serious. And he just destroys Asta with utter ease, and it's like, well, that didn't go well. anyways, it looks like Dante's gonna kill Asta. But lo and behold, Yami comes in to save the day. He's a lot stronger, too, and everything. And also Yami, because we see before the time skip happened, he actually trains with Marileona, and he gets a more understanding of how to use Mana Zone better, and stuff like that. Because we see that Marileona can also use Mana Zone as well. It kind of gives him a power boost and everything, and stuff like that. So that's the whole thing there. Now, Yami sets up this move called Black Moon that essentially absorbs the opponent's just spells and abilities and stuff like that. And throughout this fight, you get a crazy freaking fight scene with Yami versus Dante, and you get to the point where it's like Yami gives a very fatal wound to Dante, and Dante takes notes, or takes notes from Majin Buu or Zamasu, and he just fucking regenerates that freaking shit, that damage back. So essentially, he's damn near immortal. And I'm like, dude, how's this guy gonna die? How are you gonna kill this guy? Because I'm like, you gotta kill these guys. I don't think you can let guys roaming around with devils in their bodies just stay alive. I think you have to kill these guys. And every time you have Yami trying to take him out and give these very fatal wounds, Dante just regenerates that with utter ease. And I'm like, dude, this guy's OP as shit. I'm like, I'm watching this. I'm telling you, I'm watching this for the first time. And I'm like, this motherfucker's OP as shit. How are they going to win? I'm like, I already saw Xenon just take out in the entire Golden Dawn and take their freaking magic squad captain and utterly destroy This guy is actually freaking making Yami work to defeat him, and it damn near takes Yami to tell Asta to work with him, which was a great scene, which I'll get into a bit, and stuff like that, and everything. But also too, the whole thing is, the more Dante uses his devil percentage power, he turns into this like damn near demonic looking gigantic freaking kaiju being, and it looks cool. It looks cool as shit. I'm not gonna lie, it looks cool as fuck. And you have it to where his face is all covered down with the lines and everything, and then he's got obviously the wigs and everything. There are the devil horns and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I will say this. Their designs look dope as hell. Their designs do look dope as hell. I do like Dante's transformed state, and everything. So yeah. Now, this is when we find out the Dark Triad's plan from Dante. Now, he goes on to say that their plan is to unleash the underworld on the human world, where devils essentially can roam free and create havoc and live in a world that they want to live in. Essentially, you can't have that because it's the end of the world as we know it. But in order to achieve that, they need to use the tree of Kalaflof, or I don't know how you pronounce it. It's been a while since I've seen the damn episode. But it's kind of like the whole thing back in the Elf Reincarnation arc. It was this whole MacGuffin they needed to use before they could do the whole plan and stuff like that. And essentially, the thing is, in order to do this, they need a World Tree Magic user and a Dark Magic user. Well, they got Vengeance, who's a World Tree Magic user, and Yami's right here for the taking because he uses Dark Magic. In a way, they're kind of like yin and yang, light and dark stuff. And that's the thing. That's why that's why they went after William, and that's why they went after Yami and everything. And stuff like that. Eventually, it gets to the point where Yami just can't keep up with Dante because he's getting stronger and he's actually giving some pretty bad damage to Yami. Yami's at his wit's end. And I love this moment to where, they flash back to when Yami first met Asta, and, they flash back over to the previous times for the fact that, no, Yami's kind of like, don't worry, I got this. But, I love this moment. And, it was the whole standpoint of Yami knows he can't do this alone for once. And he's like, Asta, hey, kid, I need you to get up. I need your help. And when I saw this, it was like, honestly, I was fucking crying. I wasn't crying, but in my interior body, I was tearing up from the inside out, because I was like, he needed help from the boy Asta. I was like, let's go. Asta gets up, damn near not even, not even has enough like damn near, strength to even stand, but he gets up because his, he's inspired by his captain to fight, to help him fight and everything. And you get this crazy scene it becomes Dante versus Yami and Asta. And for some reason, if you ever seen the My Hero Academia movie Two Heroes, it really reminded me of when Deku, when All Might asked Deku to help him, and it gave me that type of vibe here. Listen, I watched the dub for Black Clover, and it isn't just, I'm not saying that just because freaking Yami is voice acted by Christopher Sabat, because he also voices All Might. It just gave me that vibe of like, it just gave me that vibe of essentially a mentor like figure to the main protagonist needs help, and he asks for help with the main protagonist, and the main protagonist, it's been the goal to help that person. And I definitely like that. The parallels are so like unique in those two situations, when it was in Two Heroes, All Might and Deku working together to defeat Wolfhelm, the main bad guy in the movie, and like here, Yami calling upon Asa to help him take out Dante. Now in the fight, they're doing pretty good, but it's just not strong enough power. So Asa's, like, if this dude can call upon his devil for help, that means I can do the same. And he ends up calling upon his devil, and his devil's like, what the hell do you want? You're weak, you're garbage. And he's like, I need extra strength. And the devil's like, okay, fine. You want extra strength? Well, fine. I'll give you that, but you got to sacrifice something for that to happen. And Asa's like, okay, I sacrifice my arm. And he's like, okay. So his arm turns into what seems to be a devil-like arm, and he gains extra power, and he's a lot faster and everything, and he's going crazy. But he has a certain time limit of when this power is fully damn up. So he has to make his mind. Eventually gets to the point where you get to the crazy slash, to where eventually Yami passes his sword to Asta, and Asta takes the sword and slashes Dante in half, and it defeats Dante. It doesn't kill him, but it defeats him. And we see Yami's freaking katana, katana, go into Asta's grimoire like it's one of his freaking swords. And I'm like, so does this mean, since he touched it with his arm, his devil arm, it's like a devil anti-magic sword now? Or it's an anti-magic sword and it goes just in his grimoire, just chilling? Okay. All right, so Asta's got Yami's sword in his arsenal now, so that makes it 4 swords now. But it's looking like everything's all nice and dandy. Finral's gonna seal Dante, but then all of a sudden Xenon attacks out of nowhere, and he captures Yami. Asta's trying to call upon his devil again, and he's like, listen, you can take my entire damn body. I'm trying to save my captain. And he's like, boy, you too weak. I'm not helping you. Deuces. And Yami gets taken away. And obviously the Dark Triad completes their thing. Now, obviously, I talked about the first two guys, but the Vanica fight with Laura Petchka and everything. Now, we find out that with her minions, that her interesting tidbit is, well, you have to kill her essentially, because Charmy, Leopold, Rill, and Luck, they all end up taking care of those minions, and it's looking like, oh, they took them down for the count, they're dead, but they come back to life because Vanica's like, yeah, I use blood magic and I put a little bit of my blood in them, and you have to kill me for them to be defeated. So yeah, even Noelle, Laura Petchka, and Mimosa take out one of the minions, but he comes back to life, and Mimosa's like, I'll take care of this minion. You guys worry about fighting Vanica. Now, Laura Petchka asks Vanica, like, why are you doing all this? And Vanica's like, I'm doing this for fun. I wanted to see how strong you truly are, Laura Petchka. We also find out here, too, Vanica holds the devil Magicula. And obviously, this is Noelle's whole standpoint, where she wants to seek revenge and defeat Magicula for her mother, because that's the whole thing. And in this whole fight scene, Noelle's like, you know who my mother is. You're the one that killed her. And Vanica's like, who the hell are you talking about? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't care. Get out of my way. You're a weakling. And this fight gets on so damn crazy, where we see a new form from freaking Noelle, and it's the type of form that's like, oh, character gets a huge big power up and he's gonna take out the main bad guy. and up to this point, you know, every time freaking Noelle was using a spell against Vanica, Vanica uses blood magic. Um, Vanica would just cancel it out with easy. Like she even canceled out her Sea Dragon's Roar, which her Sea Dragon's Roar is like one of her strongest freaking magic spells she can do, and Vanica knocks away like it's absolutely nothing. Um, and honestly, Vanica's kind of treating Noelle like she's just a pushover. She's like literally, she's like, you tried, but there's nothing you can do. Anyways, we get the crazy power up of, or an extension of Noelle's Valkyrie dress armor state form, and she actually transformed into a damn mermaid. And you know, when she's, and it kind of makes this whole water bubble type of thing going on, because that's what Laura Petchka kind of trained um well train Noelle to do, because she can use water magic. And two, I just have a strange feeling that it would make complete sense if Noelle gets the water spirit, if Laura Petchka ends up maybe dying in the Spade Kingdom Arc. I definitely could see it where Undine you know, is going to be given to Noelle because she's a water spirit. Noelle uses water magic. It would make complete sense by that logic. I definitely could see that happening. But for, I hope Lord Petchka doesn't die. I really do like Lord Petchka. And anyways, when Noelle's in this whole mermaid Valkyrie dress state, she's infinitely stronger. She's still crazy strong. And she's a lot freaking faster, especially when she's swimming all over the water. And she actually takes Vanica, I don't want to say to her limits, but she makes Vanica actually work to defeat her a bit. But again, it isn't enough, and it gets freaking crazy. Now, Narok to get involved, she tries to seal Vanica, but Vanica kind of knocks her away, like, yeah, you tried. That's not going to work on me and stuff like that. So, yeah. Now, it gets to the point where everybody's kind of weakened in a weakened state, and it's looking like Vanica's going to kill Laura Petchka and everything. But Noelle's doing her best to try to stop that from happening and save Laura Petchka. And at the same time, it's giving Vanica some intrigue in Noelle and everything. And Noelle, before she eventually falls down for the count, she's like, you're the one that killed my mother. Your dang freaking devil that's controlling you, Magicula, is the one. And obviously, you know, eventually it's looking like Vanica's like, you know what, you're getting out my last 7 years. I'm just going to kill you. But Magicula is like, you know what, Vanica, let her be. You know what? I got in a good, or no, my bad. It's the other way around. Magicula wants Vanica to kill Noelle, but Vanica's like, you know what? I got a better idea. So what happens is Vanica's whole thing is like, you know what? You actually impressed me a bit, and I'm getting into you. Which it's seemingly like she's turned her focus from Lord Petchka strictly to Noelle, because she saw, you know what, this girl actually has some damn potential. So what Vanica does is she ends up taking I'm like, Vanica ends up taking Lord Petchka away, and she's like, you know what, I won't kill Lord Petchka. I want to see how strong you get since I'm gonna do this, because I know you're gonna come after me. And she takes Lord Petchka away in an effort to hope that Noelle gets stronger and gives her more of a challenge, because, well, like every crazy chicken anime, we see where they have some sort of freaking fetish for their rivals to get stronger and show them much, because they have some weird infatuation with them. And before that all happens, Vanica actually left like these bombs all over the place around the Heart Kingdom, and she, as she's leaving, she explodes them, and damn near, it would look like damn near all the members of the Black that were stationed there in the Heart Kingdom are dead. But no, we later find out that Patre, Veto, Fauna, and Raya, they actually relocated to they really relocated to the Heart Kingdom, and they actually have the descendants of like this the passed down descendants of Licht and his, what was going to be his wife. I forgot what the girl's name. And essentially with that whole scene, essentially, you know, they're like, you want to find a way to get stronger, huh, to defeat those guys, huh? Well, I do know a way. You know, you can use this magic called ultimate magic and everything. Listen, we'll take you to this person named Dryad, and this person can teach it to you, and you'll get immensely stronger. So that's what Noel Mimosa and the other members over there in Heart Kingdom are doing to go get stronger to combat the evil devils, or mostly Vanica, and get revenge, and stuff like that. In terms of Asta stuff, they get taken back to the Clover Kingdom. Obviously, I already talked about what happens with Yuno. Yuno ends up being very upset. He meets up with freaking Longest, and Longest plans to help him get stronger by training together, and stuff like that. Like I said, Asta goes back to the Clover Kingdom. The I forgot the dudes, the doctor that heals him on a basis, is like, yeah, he's healed and everything. He's gonna be out of commission. I don't know about that arm of his though. That's kind of weird, so I can't really speak on that. Like I said, he's the same guy that also breaks up the standpoints. Like, well, honestly, when you guys brought Ghost back, I didn't need to heal him because he was already healed, and I think your friend Gray has something to do about it. So it's seemingly like Gray might have not only transformation magic, but some sort of healing magic as well. So that's definitely interesting, and stuff like that. So yeah, now Oz eventually wakes up, and he's looking to go out to try to go save Yami, but he is then stopped by Noct Faust, who uses shadow magic. Now we find out that Noct, one, he's another member of the Black Bulls. We find out that we didn't know up to this point. And two, he's the vice captain. Three, he's badass as shit and he's cool as fuck. I like Nost and stuff like that. And, I like his character and everything. He goes on to also tell us, like, yeah, like you, I have the power. I use the power of a devil within me as well. And he's like, and Oscar's like, wait, you do that? And he's like, yeah, you know what? I can actually teach you how to use your powers better. Just hear me out. Listen, we gotta go tell the Wizard King everything that's happened. Otherwise, we're screwed and everything. So when they have this whole meeting with the other Magic Squad captains and everything, they found out everything that's freaking happened and stuff like that. That William Bond just got taken, Yami got taken, and Laura Petchka got taken. Now Not goes on to say that he was a spy in the Spade Kingdom for some time. And he also goes on to mention that he doesn't like any of the Black Bulls members and he hates Yami. So that's why none of the Black Bull members have know who he is. He's just kind of stayed away from them. So yeah. Now he goes on to say, the Dark Triad is having this ritual, and there's these 7 gates that need to be open. Between these gates, there are 10 different devils. And it goes from highest level to lowest. The highest is the weakest devil. Once you get to the lowest level, that's where the strongest one resides, and that's where Lucifero is at. He goes on to say the strongest devil is Lucifero, and he's like, yeah, if the Dark Triad get what they want by unleashing the underworld into our world, and Lucifero gets released, you might as well just kiss the world goodbye. It's ball game, set, and match. We're dead for good. And they even ask him, like, why would they do that then? They ask him, like, why would the Dark Triad like release something like him? And I was just like, don't ask me. I have no clue. They're just crazy dudes. They're crazy idiots. But listen, we will die if that happens. So we might need to get on this. And essentially the thing is, Nock is like, listen, they're not going to start the ritual in 3 days. They're not going to start the ritual yet. They're going to start it in 3 days. The ritual will fully start in 3 days. So in 3 days, that's when we're going to invade the Spade Kingdom. Listen, what we're going to have to do is our plan, our whole goal to save the dang near, I guess you can say, the Black Clover world, save William Bongens and Yami. And we also find out too, if this ritual is complete, Yami and William will die, because what's the point in keeping them alive? They've been used for their purpose. That's what Knot goes on to say. And Knot's like, listen, the best chance we got is this guy. And he's pointing at us. He's like, listen, with his anti-magic, we have a chance to win. So I'm going to do whatever's in my power to make him the ultimate warrior. What we need is we're going to need an elite team surrounded around Asta, and we're going to raid the Spade Kingdom, so then we can take the fight to these guys and damn near save the world, essentially, and stuff like that. So yeah, So makes his whole pleas of the fact that, listen, I have to do this to save. He also reveals to everybody that he is the prince of the Spade Kingdom and everything. So you have to wonder too, well, if he's going to be this prince of the Spade Kingdom, when the story is said and done, is he going to go back to the Spade Kingdom because because when they take down them, it's only right, he's the prince, he's the heir to the throne. I would envision he's going to take the throne and he'll probably be the king of the Spade Kingdom, which would only then open up for Asta in the future to eventually be the Wizard King. Or maybe, or maybe it's like, you know what, listen, as much as I would love to rule over the Spade Kingdom and be its king, I was here in Clover for all my life, so I have no ties to Spade. But I don't know what's gonna go there. I think it would be a nice way to do it, but then again, I understand it's like there are Astas and his whole rivalry is the standpoint that they both are aspiring to become the Wizard King. Man, again, like I said, maybe the author Tabata found a way where it's like, okay, can do this thing and it opens the door up for Asta to become the Wizard King. We'll see. And stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, what happens is the plan is set. Julia's like, okay, let's do this. Everybody will get stronger in 3 days. I'll select the elite squad. Or not, you can do that on your own, and we'll go on and attack the Spade Kingdom and raid them in 3 days soon. So of what happens is in the last bit, especially in terms of the anime, what is it? Noct takes Asta down to this forbidden ritual site to, understand truly his devil's power and everything. And it's funny because Asta's like, I don't think we should do this and everything. I think that forbidden magic, it's kind of prohibited and stuff like that. And Noct's like, well, do you want to get stronger or not, idiot? Because clearly if you don't, you're not going to get stronger. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll get stronger. Essentially, this whole devil ritual thing is this. Essentially, if you have the powers of a devil within you in the Black Clover world, you call that said devil out doing this ritual. And essentially, you're face to face with this devil. You have to fight the devil to then be able to create a contract with said devil, and you'll be in control. Essentially, the devil has to give into any demands you say you tell them to do. And we see Asta's devil. He kind of got a pretty nice looking state and everything. And Asta's like, oh, so you're my devil and everything. And his devil goes to mention, like, I haven't been out here in the surface world for a long time, and man, it's good. It feels damn good. And obviously, Asta's like, first thing Asta says is like, thank you for helping me all those times I needed your help. And the dude's like, this is why you're weak. You're freaking you're freaking thanking me. And this devil's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna freaking kill you. So the whole thing is this. During this ritual, you actually have to fight your devil and win. If you don't and you end up dying, well, Noct says, well, I'm just gonna steal the devil away and stuff like that. And it's funny because there's skull heads and everything. There's like skeletons everywhere, skull heads and everything. And Asta's like, why are these bones here? He's like, and Noct's like, yeah, those are the people that tried doing this ritual and they ended up dying to their devil. So there's nothing to lose. Now, in the meantime, because the devil actually took Asta's arm in the whole fight against Dante, well, Asta has no arm. And he's like, I'm easily going to kill you. Also, too, the devil can use his demon dweller swords and all his other anti-magic swords. And Asta's essentially using his wit to try to defeat him. And it was a nice little scene. Now, Asta's saying all these things to the devil and everything, and the devil actually gets a flashback, and we find out and understand that this devil back in the underworld was kind of made fun of the other devils around and everything. He eventually got sick and tired of it, went to the surface world, went to the human world, but he was also rejected by the humans, and even some magic knights came after him. Eventually, we see this girl called Rachita, who, for some odd apparent reason, looks just like Asta. Same green eyes, same gray hair, same type of personality as Asta having. And I'm like, well, it seems like we're gonna finally get into the Asta origin story of everything that happened to him. I'm guessing this was more than likely Asta's mother, which eventually Libe, which we later find out his name, kind of deduces after making his pact with Asta's like, this is probably his son. So it's like we're meant to be, and everything. So essentially the whole thing is she welcomed him in and he's like, wait, you're not scared of me? And Rachita's like, why would I be scared of you? You're just like anybody else normal, so why should I treat you any different? You're just like me. You may be a devil, but you're nothing different. Stuff like that. And we even see like, one of the things Asta says in their fight is like, not all devils are bad. And it's like, oh really, Asta? If you came to this world, technically, no, all devils are bad here. The devil is a bad guy. You don't want to mess with this guy. I'm not trying to go to hell. So it's like, okay, fine, let's do that. And the crap that you actually make me sympathize with this with Libe, I'm like, I'm going against my code, guys. I'm going against the code. Please don't make me feel bad for something like that guy, but whatever. I get nice sympathy at him. It's the whole type of thing where he's the outcast and everything, and nobody likes him. And it's kind of similar to Asta, where he's kind of an outcast. He has no magic. Everybody kind of is like, you got no magic. You're pathetic and everything. You're weak. And stuff like that. And it gets to the point where Asta eventually digs down and remembers everything he was taught over the series up to this point and takes down Libe and defeats him. Eventually, Libe concedes and Libe is like, okay, fine. Do what you want to do with me. And Asta's like, let's just be friends. And Nox like, be friends. Dude, this is your contract. You can essentially do whatever you want with this guy. And Asta's like, why would I do that? I want this to be an equal contract. And I want this to be an equal pairing, an equal contract. I see nothing between us that I should say I should be the dominant. I should be the boss of everything. I want this to be equal, which lines up with Asta's whole goal of when he wants to become the Wizard King. He wants essentially all discrimination gone. He wants everybody on an equal footing, an equal level, where it's not just peasants, middle class, royals. It's just everybody's in the same class and there is no discrimination. And stuff like that. We see each other equal. Man, if I could just if the modern day world can live in a time where there is no racism and we could just see each other on equal footing, that would be nice. But you know what? That can't happen because it's probably never going to happen in the world of existence, and stuff like that. Now, actually going back to the flashback, we actually saw that Lucifero tried to take over Libe's body, but Rachita actually protected Libe and prevented that from happening. And also too, she sealed him within the 5-leaf grimoire, so he could stay safe and everything. So when Asta makes this deal, Libe is like, you know what, maybe this isn't half bad, and they shake hands on it. They complete their contract, and they're, well, you can say a team. And I do like the fact how Libe is like, this dude is probably her son, and everything. So it's still speculation of who Rachita really is. I'm calling it that's Asta's mother. Now, how Asta ended up living and getting to Hodge Village, maybe it's the whole type of trait where, maybe Rachita just didn't feel like she was good enough to be Asta's mother. And she's like, I gotta leave him here, and maybe I gotta live on my life on my own, something like that. Maybe his dad left her and she couldn't take care of the baby by herself, and she's like, I need to hand this off to someone else. And she saw Libe and she saw this as a second chance as a son. So in other words, Asta and Libe are kind of like brothers, to be honest. They're kind of like brothers, which I was like, okay, I can get behind this. I can get behind this. They're like long lost brothers finding each other. And it's a freaking coincidence that the grimoire Asta got is the grimoire that held Libe in it. And they work together from this whole thing and stuff like that. And yeah, and that's where I'm going to end this video off, because if you watch the 170th episode of Black Clover, well, that's how it ends off with, well, Asta learned, I'm guessing, going to be training with Libe getting to understand each other on a better level, to be able to eventually confront the Spade Kingdom. And the one thing Libe does says, like, I want to kill all devils. So also like, fine, listen, we got one plan down. Let's work together and do this. So stuff like that. But that's in terms of the anime, that's where it ends, and that's where we're gonna stop the video here. And yeah, but the Spade Kingdom arc, I really enjoyed this arc. The action was crazy, and the fact that you get the fueling scenes for Asta, Noelle, and Yuno to have their aspirations of, okay, we need to beat these guys. Let's get stronger. Let's find a way to do this. It was great, and it was just nonstop. Honestly, I love the Elf Reincarnation arc, but for the first half of the Spade Kingdom arc, it might be my favorite arc of the series so far. I don't know what's going on now, but I guarantee you by the time this arc ends, it's gonna be my favorite series of the arc. Or it's my favorite arc of the series. And I can't wait to see what happens next when I get to reading the manga. So yes. In terms of everything, I am done reviewing any past arcs that has any tie-ins to the anime. So, like I said at the start of the video, I would tell you guys what I'm going to do when it comes to the manga stuff, because now I'm going to be catching up and reading the manga. So what I'm going to do is, I know the next chapter I have to read, the next chapter starting off from episode 170 is chapter 273. And I have a long way. And now let me check my freaking Viz Media app, because, hey, sponsor Viz and stuff like that. So, yeah, hold on. Black Clover. Okay, it's got 313 chapters. So I have to start on chapter 273. 273. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read, so how the videos are going to be handled now, in order for me to catch up. I'm going to read all the chapters, not in one whole video. I'm going to split these chapters up into different videos. They're still going to go on my Black Clover playlist. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these chapters out loud, live on the channel to you guys. And while you guys get my live reactions to what's happening for each chapter. Like I said, I'll read a select number of chapters. So the video could be damn near an hour long. And we'll continuously do this. And we'll continually do this till I eventually catch up to the most recent chapter. And then from that point on, I will be doing Black Clover manga chapter reviews. So if you guys, like I said, are looking forward to getting my thoughts on the manga, well, hopefully you guys are tuning in, because I know the manga is getting crazy good now. And yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night when you check out this video. So leave a like if you like this video. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the first half of the Spade Kingdom arc. Please do not spoil anything after the point of what I talked about in this video, because I want to go into this whole thing blind, reading the chapters and everything. And also leave in the comment sections what are your hype levels to get my thoughts on some of the chapters that I'm going to be reading going forward. Now I don't know how many chapters I will read in one video. We'll just have to see. So yeah, I think for this video I'll probably go to from 273 to 280. And then next on I'll probably go 10 chapters each. So the next one video would be 280 to 290, and then set on or 281 to 290. So you know what I'm saying. Or maybe I'll stop at 290 to 279 and stuff like that. So well, I'll handle all of that stuff when I get there and everything. But yeah, hit that subscribe button. You want to get more Black Clover content, as well as anything other than Black Clover on the channel. I review One Piece, My Hero Academia, yada yada yada, other stuff like that. So yeah, other than that, I'm gonna get out for guys. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night when checking this video. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys for the first Black Clover manga chapter review I'm going to be doing on the channel. So other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.